Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been so long since I did my last video. So today's video is going to be, I'm switching it up a little bit. I was trying to think of what I was going to do. I thought about doing a continuation of my collection video, but decided that I'm going to take a brief hiatus and sort of do like a Chanel 101 video, because on this channel and in real life, I get so many questions about how to find a bag that you're looking for. And I'm just going to sort of lay out like the rudimentary basics. I've been buying bags, I think, since 2008. So I've got about 9 years in on research. And I'm going to share with you kind of like my main tips and tricks to how to find a bag that you're looking for. So, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you a story about the hardest bag that I ever found, which I hope will just be testament to the fact that if you really, really want something, your hard work can pay off. So, first and foremost, you have to locate, I think the easiest way to go about anything is to try to locate the product code for the given bag that you're looking for. So, if you're in the situation where you were lucky enough to see a bag in the store, or if you're going to go out starting to maybe look for your first or second or however many Chanel bag, and you do go and visit the store, I'm sure that whoever the sales associate is that's showing you the bag, or whoever showed it to you when you went at one point in time, would be happy to share the product information for you. And the new codes look like this. It's this here. So for the new Chanel pink jumbo that I got, the code is 17C A58600 Y25378 3B as in boy 073. And the way that the codes are organized is the 17C is the year that the bag came out along with the collection, so it's cruise collection. The A is the style code, so for this it's a jumbo, so this is the style code for a jumbo. The Y is the material that the bag is made out of, so if it's like lambskin or caviar or calfskin, whatever the case might be. And then the last digits is the color code, and this number changes like all the time, so sometimes I've seen letters, sometimes not, but essentially this is like your golden ticket to helping you find a bag going forward. So if you're lucky enough to see the bag in person, step one is to contact the sales associate and see if they can give you the product code. And then obviously if they have the bag still, you can go and buy it and not watch the rest of this video. Another option for finding a bag is if obviously you saw it online. So if you go to Chanel.com and you're taking a look at the new collections, you know, when they roll out like every couple of months, the online website will also give you the style code for a given bag. I'll have a tip about that in a second, but that's kind of another way to get the code. And then worst case scenario, when you do not have a product code, your two main options are one, and I'll put the info here. One is to go to the Purse Forum, which is an international site. I visit it all the time. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. And there is in the shopping threads section for Chanel, there's like a help me find thread. And if you have a picture of what it is you're looking for, or even a description, although a picture is much more helpful, you can type that in and just see if there's anybody out there that can help you. I tend to find that it's a great community and people are like super responsive as far as helping you look for things or giving you advice. Another option would be to call, you know, a department store that sells Chanel. So just to name a couple, Neiman Marcus sells Chanel, Chanel sells Chanel, Saks sells Chanel, some of the Nordstrom stores sell Chanel, and then there are a handful of boutiques that I'm going to kind of talk about at the end that also do. So another option is to just call and get a sales associate on the phone. I've never had a really bad experience with a sales associate before, and be polite and describe what it is you're looking for. And they can usually go through like their books or their memory to try to see if it's something that like jogs their memory, and then they can text you pictures back and forth. So obviously the last two options are a little bit more of a roll of the dice as far as being able to find your product code is concerned. But those are two things that I have had to utilize. Those are two little avenues I have had to utilize in the past, and they did play out. So now we're going to assume that you were able to secure your product code. The next thing that you're going to do, unless for whatever reason you're able to now stop because you've located it in the store, but if you haven't, if it's something you saw online or whatever and you have this product code, the next thing to do is to call Chanel customer service. So their number is 800, I'll put it here, 800-550-0005. And to the best of my recollection, there's like two options. It's like customer service, and then I don't know what the other option is, but hit customer service. It's going to connect you to a live person. Everybody that works there is super nice, and you can give them the product code, and what they can do is they can help you see like which stores ordered it. Now, this is where I was going to kind of offshoot a little bit. Something that's worth doing is that if you are able to locate your product code, this, like I said, this last number here is a color code. If you ask the customer service representative about the first two sections, or three sections, I guess, so like these first two, like 17C and then the A number and the Y number, you can actually ask the person if the bag was ordered in different colors. So a lot of the times, if you are on the website is like a perfect example of this, where you're going to see like a pink boy bag and you might love the style, like say it has cool detailing or sequins or whatever. If you get the code and you call the 800 number, they can tell you if that bag exists in like other color combinations that you may not have seen on the internet. So color is a huge variable with Chanel bags, and the way that it kind of works is Chanel may, I think at least, so somebody from Chanel might be able to correct me here, but I think what happens is essentially bags are made available by corporate in like 10 colors, say, or less or more, whatever, for a given season. And then the stores can order them accordingly. So like the boutique will get certain colors, Neiman's will get certain colors, Saks will get certain colors. I don't know about some of the smaller boutiques if they have as much like luxury of ordering colors, but that's just a huge tip for you guys. So if you do see a style that you like on the internet, or even like a bag that you see in the store and you're like, I absolutely love this bag, but God, I would love if it was in, like an off-white or something like that, it's always worth calling the 1-800-CHANEL number and seeing if they can give you advice on other colors that may be available for the bag. But if you call the 800 number and you have the code, they should be able to tell you if it's available. Just so you know, on the US side, there was recently a bag that was on the Chanel website that I love. It's this little green camera case, and I called 1-800-CHANEL, and it was not ordered by any store in the United States. So you do occasionally have to prepare yourself for some disappointment that something may not be available in your area. So then, if you have your idea of a location, you will go theoretically to the store to pick up the bag. There are also nobody that I've ever used, so I hesitate to give a recommendation, but if you're in a rural area, there are personal shoppers I know that are out there that you can pay and they'll go pick up your bag. So if you're in a state where there isn't a Chanel, or it's just going to be too big of a trek, that is always an option. And then obviously another option is if you call a store and they have it, is seeing if they can ship it. I think one hurdle is that typically, maybe all the time, a Chanel boutique will not ship a classic. So like a jumbo or a medium large or a maxi. The wallet on a chain. No, the wallet on a chain I do not believe is considered a classic, because I had one shipped to me from a boutique. But every now and again you might run into that roadblock of a store saying like, I'm sorry, it's just not our policy to ship the given bag that you're looking for. And then your options would remain to either find a personal shopper, or maybe call back the 1-800 number and say like, listen, I know the boutique has it, but are there any other stores that have it? And then see if that store has a different shipping policy. So my last little piece of advice for bags, finding your bags, is if you can't find it in any of the big like box stores, so Saks again, Neiman's, Nordstrom, Bergdorf's in New York, that might be it. There are a couple of boutiques within the United States that do sell Chanel, and every now and again you might be able to luck out by either finding a bag that you couldn't find elsewhere, or by having somebody willing to ship it. So those stores that I'm familiar with are, the first one is the Jeffrey, which is in New York City, and they're great. Their sales associates are wonderful to work with, and they do ship bags. I've purchased bags from them before. Another option is the Webster, which has, I think, 4 locations, although I heard there were 5. There's one in, I'm sorry, I have to read on my little thing. There's one in South Beach, Florida, one at the Ball Harbor Shopping Center in Florida, one in Costa Mesa, California, and one in Houston, Texas. And again, I'll put the website information for the Jeffrey and the Webster below. And then your last option is a store called Hirschliefers. I might be saying that wrong. People refer to it as Hirsch, and they are located also in New York City. And I don't know if this is still the policy with Hirschliefers, but the one thing that is amazing is if you guys catch word of a bag, like a great example would be like a mini, like those are so in demand. They've always been in demand, but say, you hear that, okay, as part of the 17 spring summer collection, a black caviar mini with gold hardware is coming out. You can actually call Hirschliefers and see if that's a bag that they're getting and put a deposit down. I think you have to put down 50% of the bag, and then you get it. You're assured to get one. So that is a very comforting thought for people, because otherwise with some of the harder to find bags, you can find yourself having to go on a wait list. And if you do run into the waitlist situation with a bag that you're looking for, my advice to you would be to get on every waitlist possible. So if we sort of backtrack to this calling the 1-800-CHANEL scenario, let's say that it's a black caviar mini with gold hardware, and you learn that 4 of the department stores are going to get it in. I would, if I were you, call and indoctrinate myself with every sales associate that you possibly can find, just to see if they can get you on the wait list. And then, obviously it's a bummer if you have to let a sales associate down, but that's one of the easiest ways to get a bag. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I know that was kind of a lot of information in a really short period of time. But anyway, here's my little story. So I saw this bag. This is one of my favorite bags because of the color. It's calfskin. It's green, obviously silver hardware. Kind of weird. Has this weird flap on the back, like a zip pocket on the top. It's called, I think, the Tender Touch. Kind of a weird name for a bag. I have the stuffing in here, but the inside is like a green satin. But anyway, I saw this bag online in 2014, and it literally took me 4 months to track it down, and I did everything that I suggested to you and was able to get it. So I didn't know the code, so I started by calling the department stores, and I've worked with tons of sales associates, so I was able, thankfully, to use the benefit of those relationships. And I had a picture of it because it was on the purse form, sent it to every single one of my sales associates. Nobody could find it. Called 1-800-CHANEL. Nobody knew what I was talking about because it was kind of a strange bag to have to describe. And then finally, I reached out to the Jeffrey. It was the Jeffrey in New York City, and me and another person from the purse forum were looking for it because the two of us both like green. One day I'll do a green collection. And she was like, yeah, we got 2 in. And to the best of my knowledge, there's only 2 of these bags in the United States, unless I stand corrected, and I'm not as special as I hope that I am. But I just have to say that it took hours and days of calling and just asking and circling back and trying again. And if you get an uncooperative sales associate from a store, call a different one. Don't give up. If it's something that you want, I can tell you that your hard work is most certainly going to pay off. So anyway, I hope that you guys like this video. Sorry it's in a little bit of a different format today, but I hope this is useful for you. And obviously, if there's anybody out there that needs my guidance or wants to know any other tips or whatever, or has a conundrum, do not hesitate to ask. More importantly, have a great weekend.